Okay, let's work a few equations that have fractions. Alright, we're going to be careful as we work with fractions to know whether we're, how to isolate the variable. Okay. Remember that this is a coefficient of x, and to get x by itself we need it to be one coefficient. Normally, or quite often, we've been dividing to get x by itself. Dividing by a fraction is not so great, so we want to choose to multiply by the reciprocal. So the coefficient is 4/13, and the reciprocal is the upside down version of that. Now remember, what we do to one side we do to the other. So we're still multiplying by the reciprocal over here. Now you remember that 24 can be 24 over 1. Now what happens over here is what we call canceling. Everything cancels to 1. And we have our 1x, and we just write the x. Here, not everything cancels, but we can divide 24 and 4. Both of those divide by 4, leaving a 1 here and a 6 here. Then we just have one denominators, which we don't have to write. 1 times 1. 6 times 13 gives us 78. X is equal to 78. Let's work another one with fractions. Okay, for this one, it's similar to the one we just looked at. We just need to get x by itself by multiplying by the reciprocal. Now, this is a negative fraction for a reciprocal, and so the reciprocal will also be negative. So we need to multiply by negative 3 over 2 on both sides times negative 3 over 2. And now remember, this can be over 1. So remember over here, because we're multiplying by reciprocals, everything cancels to 1, and negative times negative is positive, so that gives us positive 1x, just x. And over here, not everything cancels, but we can cancel negative 16 and 2, both divide by 2. That leaves us a 1 here and a negative 8 here. Now we have 1's for our denominator, which we don't have to write, and now we can multiply negative 8 times negative 3 for positive 24. Well, let's try another one of those. Okay, so we need to multiply by the reciprocal to get x by itself. So the coefficient is 1/3, so the reciprocal is 3 over 1. We have to multiply both sides by 3 over 1. And here, everything cancels, and x is by itself. And on the other side, this time, nothing cancels. Nothing cancels, so we multiply across the numerator for 12 and across the denominator for 5. So 12/5, x is equal to 12/5. And 12/5 is an improper fraction. It is simplified, and so that's fine. We can leave it as a simplified improper fraction. Let's do another one of these. Okay. Negative 2/3, negative 1 is equal to negative 1/7 x. So many times when we have this many fractions, students choose the wrong reciprocal. So remember, focus on the fraction that's the coefficient of the variable term. Alright, you want to get x by itself, you have to use the reciprocal of this. So the fraction is negative 1/7, and the reciprocal is negative 7 over 1. So we're multiplying both sides by negative 7 over 1. So on this side, everything cancels. Negative times negative is positive. So we have positive 1x, and we just write the x. On the other side, 7 and 3, 2 and 1, nothing cancels. And so we're just going to multiply across the numerator for 14, across the denominator for 3, and then for the sign, negative times negative is positive. So our result is x equal 14/3, and it's an improper fraction, but it is simplified, so it's okay to leave it in that form.